Okay, it looks like we've got a few more people in, and I think it's a good time to get things rolling here. So, thanks for joining us in our Bluebeam Revu 2018 for Designers webinar. A brief introduction. My name is Mike Nelson, and for the better part of 20 years, I've spent my time in the design industry here in Vancouver, starting out as a structural draftsperson, and then I pursued building science and architectural studies and got employed as a building technologist at a few architectural firms here in Vancouver, and was immersed in projects of varying size and scope, from design right through to deficiency lists. So this is going to be the first in a series of Bluebeam Revu webinars, with today's topic focusing on review with a design workflow. I'll start by spending some time showcasing and demonstrating some of Revu's features, and then we'll open up the session for some Q&As from any of the attendees. So for those of you not familiar with Bluebeam Revu, it's a powerful PDF creation and editing application with markup and collaboration tools that we believe are custom made for a design workflow. It's available in a few different versions: standard, CAD, Extreme, as well as versions for the Mac and iPad. It's a PDF program that's tailored for the design and construction industry, and it's got markups, and it's going to look familiar to what you might use on a daily basis in a CAD or a Bing program, as well as processes that tie in nicely into a typical design or construction workflow. So let's get started and have a look at some of the features.
Let's talk about Batchlink. We believe that one of the best time-saving features of Bluebeam Revu for a design workflow is hyperlinked documents. Navigation and ease of use are paramount for large permit and construction drawing sets. So clicking on things like thumbnails or bookmarks if you have them, or even clicking on the next and previous buttons over the duration of a project on large drawing sets are going to take up a lot of time. So the Batchlink command in Revu Extreme is going to make navigating a set of drawings so easy. And what it does is it scans an entire drawing set for things like sheet numbers on a drawing list on the cover page. Then it searches for sheet numbers located in something like a title block, and then it hyperlinks them to things like elevation markers, section markers, and detail callouts, so that when you click on the callout, it hyperlinks you to the corresponding page in the document, much like you'd find in a hyperlink on a website. So when you click on a detail marker on the floor plan, it brings you to the corresponding page without having to dig through the sheets manually. So I'm not going to set it up for you, but just know that it's found here under the Batch drop-down menu, under Link. And lucky for us, I've got a document already set up that demonstrates how this works. So here on the cover sheet, you can see that sheet numbers on the drawing list are already linked, and they're highlighted. This is a feature you can turn on and off to make them more visible. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on A1.2.0. You can see that it brings me to the corresponding page, and you can see that it's found some links that are already highlighted and ready to go. For instance, here's a detail callout for this plan on A1.2.2. Click on it, brings me to the right page. Let's go back, have a look at the sections. Let's click on the section callout for A3.0.1. Presto, brings me right to A3.0.1. So, can you imagine having an IFC drawing set that's maybe 200 plus pages in length? How much time you're going to save by using the Batchlink process to make navigating your drawing set that much easier. Let's have a look at how Bluebeam can help you review and compare your documents. It's got some pretty nice tools to help you review your design and compare different drawings for things like progress sets or project consultant coordination. Here I've got the same floor plan open in two different tabs. One's the original, one's been updated with some revisions, and I can jump back and forth between the two and zoom in, around, pan, and try and manually find those differences. Something you do fairly frequently, I think. So Bluebeam has a way to speed that up with split screen right down here. And as soon as I do that, I've got two panes open, and I can select which drawings I want to compare. And I can pan around and zoom in one pane, and it automatically does it in the other, so that I can try and find the differences between the original drawing and the one that has some revisions. We can take that a step further by doing drawing overlays. So I can overlay pages, and it's going to use the two documents that I have open, the original and the one with the revisions, and it's going to mark the differences with the colors that are dictated here. I can change those if I need to. When I click OK, it compares the differences and overlays them. And you can see that the difference is shown with the different colors, and everything that matches is black. It's like those old light tables you might have used years back in the drawing office. So it's a really nice way to speed up the process for document review and comparison. And it's perfect for consultant coordination, in our opinion. And hey, one more thing. If there's something in particular you're looking for, and you're having a hard time finding it on multiple pages, use visual search. Click on the search tool, click on visual search, click on get rectangle. Draw a rectangle around something like this toilet here. Click in search, starts to scan the entire document, and here you can see the progress taking place down below. Done. It's generated a list of all those toilets, and when I click on them, it hyperlinks me directly to the location of that particular toilet. A pretty slick feature. Now that you can find the differences between files, you can start taking advantage of the markup tools and annotate your drawings for issuing internally, externally with clients, or take them into the cloud for some consultant coordination in Studio, which we'll get into a little bit later. So over here in the markup tools, we've got an arrow tool. Looks like we've got some circles that you can use the ellipse tool with. Cloud, my personal favorite, Cloud Plus. Click on the tool, and let's say we wanted to draw a cloud around this wall where we need to add some windows in the conference room. Click, drag, go. There's the cloud. You can see that it automatically wants to draw an extension line. Place the text with the next click. Pretty simple. Then up here in the preferences, you can change the color of the billow. You can change the size of the billow. You can add fill to the billow, modify your font. And the nice thing is, every time you use a tool, over here in the tool chest, you can see that under recent tools, Bluebeam remembers the tool and its preferences. And if I like using it the way I had it set up in the preferences, I simply double click on it, drag it onto the drawing over and over and over again. So you can see how quickly, if you have similar markups to use, how your recent tool chest is very helpful. Additionally, this tool chest can be saved and shared in a network location so that your colleagues can use it as well. And so the idea of the tools and the preferences is that you tailor them to match your Office graphic standards, much like you would with your annotations in your CAD or BIM applications. Another thing, dimensions are also considered markup tools. Watch this. Had some prefs set already for a dimension tool. You can see the way the tool wants to snap to the content of the PDF. Hold down the Shift key to constrain it horizontally. Click, and there's a dimension, possibly with your own Office standards. Images are also markups. Click on the images you want to bring in. Maybe you're doing a deficiency list. And place the image where you think it needs to go. Pretty simple and straightforward, and an efficient way to mark up drawings. So now that we've placed all of these markups, what can we do with them? Well, in addition to remembering each markup, Revu also keeps track of everything you've done in the file with a list, and that's found down here in Summary. This panel pops open, and you can see it's a nice summary list of all of the markups that were added by architect, contractor, engineer. It lists the author, the date that was placed, the color if you need to know it, and the actual markup note itself. So this is a nice way to keep track and provide accountability between you and your consulting team that's marking up drawings. But let's say this is for internal review and you need to get someone in your office to mark up a set of drawings, or sorry, revise a set of drawings. You can export this. A couple of ways you can do it: CSV into something like Excel, or in this case, we can append the particular document with a PDF summary. And we're going to make sure that we have append to hyperlink to current PDF selected. Click OK. It goes through the entire drawing, grabs all of the markups, puts them in a nice list, and appends the document. And so this is that document that your colleagues might use within the office to go through as a bit of a checklist. Say, okay, I provided the mullion detail here, and check it off the list. And if the colleague needs to have a look at exactly where that particular markup is located, all they need to do is click on the thumbnail image and it hyperlinks them right to the location where the changes need to be made. Just one more aspect of Bluebeam that makes drawing review and coordination really efficient. A couple of times throughout this webinar, you might have heard me refer to Bluebeam Studio. Well, it's a cloud-based environment where we put the features we talked about to use for something like a remote design review meeting with client or an online consultant coordination meeting. So all versions of Bluebeam, Standard, CAD, Extreme, come with unlimited access to Studio. And I think the beauty is not only do your project team members have access to the documents from the cloud, but they don't even need to own Bluebeam licenses to do this. They can join existing studio sessions or projects using Bluebeam's free viewer mode and have full markup and collaboration capabilities. There are two parts to Studio: projects and sessions. What's the difference? Well, think of Studio projects like a filing cabinet. You can upload and organize your project folders and files into cloud storage so that everyone on the project team can have access to them. And you can maintain a single master drawing set. You can upload any file type, not just PDFs. You might consider storing photos from a site visit here, or keep your RFIs and site instructions here as well. Unlimited storage space, unlimited number of users for the project, and as mentioned, you can invite users that don't even own Bluebeam. Additionally, you can control access rights, whether or not users can print, add, and maybe close off particular folders for them. Studio Sessions is the meeting. So this is where, in real time, you collaborate and allow users to mark up the same document at the same time. For example, if you want mechanical, electrical, or structural consultants to add their notes to your design, rather than sending them all separate copies, simply invite them all to a studio session. This saves time, allows you to collaborate simultaneously, and often provides the benefit of all parties seeing what the others are doing. So let's see how this looks in action. So studio sessions is just a couple of clicks away. The session will launch, and I can see the attendees, and I can see that my colleague is currently offline, but that's okay. She can still mark up the drawing and sync the changes when she signs back in again. Here's the list of documents available to me, and if I needed to start addressing some of the issues in this session, I could manually scan the drawing, or I can go directly to the list of record and click on one of the records, and it links me directly to what needs to be addressed within the drawing. Notice when I try to edit someone else's comment, it's not letting me do it. This is good. So I can reply to particular issues directly from the comments. So here's one. There's power required here. And right click, just say reply, yes. Power required. And we'll find that that's been tracked in the record. And I can rely on my Markup Tools and insert an image. And let's just take something like that panel. And we can let our engineer know that we can place the panel there. So makes it really easy to track what's been done and who said what, creating a nice audit. And if you're keeping an eye on the record, as mentioned, everything gets tracked. So a quick summary, no need to email plans back and forth anymore. There's no time zone issues when you're adding team members, and you can set notifications of revisions of a studio project so all of your consultants or clients are kept up to date. And there's no need to take meeting minutes. There's a perfect audit trail found in the record. And when you generate a report of your session, it looks something like this. There's the message, date, time, and document. Nice paper trail. So I hope you find this useful. Studio makes it easy for you to take your meetings online.
So I just want to thank everyone for joining us, and I hope it sheds some light on how you might integrate Bluebeam into your design workflow. It's got a suite of tools and processes that are tailored for designers and makes it easy to collaborate with clients, colleagues, and consultants. And I think now is probably a good time to open up the session for some questions. And if you feel like submitting those, you can do so through your go-to control panel. So I'll let this sit for just a moment. All right, so I'm just going through the questions here. And let's see. I've got one question here. Can markups be viewed in other PDF programs? So yes, Bluebeam Revu offers, it's basically a PDF standard. So it allows markups to be made and reviewed to be visible in any other PDF viewer. And I've got one here as well. For people who become part of the team but do not have a license, can they add their own markups? Yes, they can. So you can use the, you can have your client or your team member download Bluebeam, and in the free viewer mode, yes, as long as they're invited to a session, they can join in on the session and markup. Good question. Let's see here, we've got another one here. What are the differences between Bluebeam, the different versions of Bluebeam? Let's see, we've got standard, so users have full annotation, editing, and collaboration aspects of Bluebeam, and we've also got an add-on for Microsoft Office if you need to do some Bluebeam printing as well. Additionally, let's see, CAD has all of those features, but then includes plugins for different CAD applications like AutoCAD or Revit or ArchiCAD. And then Extreme contains all those features of standard and CAD, but then includes advanced features like OCR, form creation, and BatchLink, which is that one we stressed the importance of earlier on in the session that allows you to add those navigational hyperlinks. And let's see here, is there another one we got? Is there a project management aspect that can be used for on-site reviews? That's a pretty broad question, but if I can try and answer it. So you might want to use projects, studio projects, to upload your files or documents to Studio. And then you would take something like a tablet or your PC to the job site, and then you'd have access to all of your files on the job site. And then for site reviews, when you're there, let's see, you could be doing a markup to the document on site, and then tracking everything through a summary, and maybe this isn't answering your question in particular, but Pablo, that's maybe something I could get back to you on in more detail, and maybe you can clarify the question and I can answer it a bit more succinctly for you. Does that sound okay? Great. Any other questions out there? Okay, so I've got one more here. Is there a plugin for Vectorworks? Well, that's a good question. So the Vectorworks publish feature is built right into Vectorworks that generates the PDFs. And there's a setting within Bluebeam on the Mac side and the Windows side that you can have Bluebeam automatically open PDFs as soon as they're generated. So as soon as you publish from Vectorworks and you double click on the PDF to open it, you change that setting and Bluebeam will automatically open it for you. Let's see here, we've got, where would I find Bluebeam training? Good question. We offer individual Bluebeam training here in Vancouver or online, and we can offer one-on-one here in our studio, or we can accommodate a group here in our training space. And I guess additionally, we've got plans to host one of these sessions once a month for the next few months. I think we're going to be going a bit more in depth. And if you haven't already been informed, I think our next one here is coming up in the next few weeks, and that's about document management setup. So I hope you can join us for that one, and I'm sure you'll receive a follow-up email here with the date and time for that one. So if there aren't any more questions, I think that's about a wrap for today's session. So as mentioned, thanks for your time, and just keep your eyes open for an email regarding the details on our next webinar here that'll be later in June. And other than that, I'd like to thank you for your time, and please don't hesitate to contact us with any questions or comments. Oh, sorry, I should mention some pricing. Let's see here, we've got, I think, our Mac version, just to give you an idea, our Mac version pricing starts at $260, and we've got standard and CAD all the way up to extreme, I believe, is $780. And if you're looking for some pricing on bulk seating, don't hesitate to contact us at sales@resolve.ca. So that's a wrap for today. I appreciate your time and look forward to talking to you in the future. Thanks, and have a good day.